Welcome to the NBA Now by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff, and on today's show, we are going to be looking at the top 10 NBA free agents still available that are really able to go out there and join any team and potentially make an impact. There are some decent names out there. I'm not going to act like there's some all-stars out there, but there are people that can fit into a role for NBA teams. Before we get into my top 10, do you want your team to make a move? Are you bored? Do you want to see your team make a signing, a trade, anything? Hit that thumbs up button. Let's get 250 likes on today's video. I think it's doable. Come on, folks. Hit that thumbs up button. All right, the first player that we're going to talk about on today's show is Robert Covington. Yes. Robert Covington is still a player in the NBA. He is unsigned, and listen, he's bounced around quite a bit, but Covington has made a living on being that 3-and-D specialist, and he has struggled over the past couple of years, but you're telling me bringing him on a vet min, if you're a team looking for some extra defense and size on the perimeter, couldn't be a bad move? Like, I've always been a Rocco guy as well, so maybe this is me being biased that I still think there's something that he can provide and have left in the tank. Let me use this for an example. I just watched Patty Mills get signed by the Utah Jazz on a vetmin deal. I think Robert Covington can give you more than Patty Mills can. Cedi Osman, next up on the list. Osman, man, I always think about his days back in Cleveland as a member of the Cavs. There were so many Cavs fans that believed he could have been next up after LeBron. It truly was something. But either way, Osman has bounced around the league. He's been with San Antonio. Still out there, probably at best at this point, an end-of-rotation guy, like 10th to 12th, 13th man. But if you're looking for some veteran leadership on your team that can give you also 8-9 points a game, why not give a little try of Cedi Osman? How about Evan Fournier, who just came off probably some of the best stretch of basketball he's played in a very long time with the Olympics. He was arguably one of the top guards for the French team that made it all the way to the gold medal game against the United States. And Evan Fournier had a couple games in the knockout stage where he was dropping 6 3-pointers. So he showcased that he still got that thing on him. Someone who couldn't get a lot of PT for the Knicks last year. Now I think was with the Pistons after the trade for Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks. Fournier is someone who could provide some three-point shooting off the bench for a team. And after watching him play in the Olympics, it's hard for me to come out here and say that he shouldn't have a chance. And if my team had a roster spot available for the vet min, I would take a chance on Fournier if a shooter off the bench was a need. All right, we still got 7 players that we're going to bring up on today's show, but let me know who you think the best NBA free agent available is. I think there's a pretty clear-cut answer, and it's going to be the last player we talk about on today's show. I'll tell you his initials are MF, but we'll get there in a little bit. How about a Holiday brother? There's 3 of them still in the NBA. Drew Holiday, Aaron Holiday, and Justin Holiday. Holiday has bounced around teams, provided shooting, provided bench. Listen, I don't think he's going to be someone that just immediately gets signed here and is like, oh man, it's really cool that we signed Justin Holiday. But it's someone that if he sneaks onto your roster, you're going to see him play in some spot minutes and be like, I actually don't hate if we give Justin Holiday more PT. There's something here, and there's some potential for the worst Holiday brother. Does that mean to say? Well, sorry, it's the case. All right, 5th here is Marcus Morris Sr., and there's reportedly a lot of interest on Marcus Morris. Dating back a couple weeks ago, there's been quite a lot of interested teams for Morris Sr., who's just a couple years removed from being a double-digit points per game guy and 4 years removed from averaging, 15, 16 points a game. Never forget when he was averaging 18 or 19 for the Knicks, and what was it, the 2018, 2019 season, something like that. But either way, there are reports of a lot of teams. Hoops Hype had the report 2 or 3 weeks ago that the Detroit Pistons, Charlotte Hornets, Cleveland Cavaliers, Dallas Mavericks, and Minnesota Timberwolves were all interested in the services of Marcus Morris Sr. Someone who's an experienced scorer, probably on the cooked end, but hey, he's also someone I'd like to have at the end of my bench that maybe doesn't play often, but you know is a true veteran, true locker room presence that, hey, you have a day where you have 3 or 4 players in your rotation that are hurt and are not able to go, sure, we could throw Marcus Morris in there. He'll be able to give us 10 or 12 points and knock down a couple jumpers. I think that's very reliable and very needed in today's NBA. All right, make sure you are subscribed to the channel here because we are going to have year-round coverage of the NBA. We have a great team here. Myself, Patrick Seatman, Marshall Green, Chase Sr., Harrison Graham, Allie Barefoot. Does not matter. We cover the NBA better than anyone out there, so hit that sub button. Let's get into my top 5 NBA free agents available now. Lonnie Walker IV. Lonnie is someone that I've always liked, and I have always thought he's gotten the short end of the stick every place he's went. And I can definitely say that in Los Angeles. I feel like he did not get enough PT. We saw him come onto the scene in that playoff game against the Warriors and just absolutely take over the fourth quarter. He's someone who's explosive on the offensive end. He's got great athleticism, bunnies, has a good jumper to him, shot 38.4% from 3 last year as a member of the Brooklyn Nets. And at the end of the year, he even got kind of shafted in terms of his playing time as the Nets kind of went into a full tank mode. I think Lonnie Walker is someone who constantly gets disrespected in the NBA. Yes, he's not the best defender and he doesn't bring a lot of playmaking, but if you need a guard to come in off the bench and maybe initiate and ignite your offense on a slow day, Lonnie Walker can be your guy. He is an energizer bunny. Jae Crowder still kicking it in the NBA. I still can't believe the Milwaukee Bucks sent like a gazillion second-round picks to the Phoenix Suns to get Jae Crowder. It just never worked out with him in Milwaukee, but I still think Crowder has some things to bring to the table. Yes, he had a poor season a year ago for the Bucks, but he is an experienced veteran who is not afraid to take a task, or a tough task that is, of guarding the opponent's team's best wing guy. He also is not afraid to step out and hit a big shot. Boss man 9'9", not afraid to go out and do it, baby. So definitely Jae Crowder is someone that I am very intrigued with. Obviously has had stops with winning basketball teams all along the way with the Heat, with the Suns, with the Bucks. He's been a lot of different places and impacted winning in a lot of different ways. All right, make sure you get this Team USA shirt if you are proud of the Americans taking home gold in the basketball part of it. I am. I love this team, by the way. The chemistry they had, the cool players they had, I was a big fan of it. Get this t-shirt right now, any size. Support Team USA by going to chatsports.com/Team USA. That link will be in the description and comments of today's video. Grab yours today. Isaac Okoro comes in at number 3 here. Okoro, I'm actually stunned that he's still available. I really am. The former top 5 pick out of the University of Auburn has never really found his stride in the NBA, and he struggled with the Cleveland Cavaliers. They took him very high to be a 3-and-D guy, but he never has been able to fit, and it's the reason why they're still out there looking for that connecting third piece to fit between their backcourt and their front court. Okoro did improve as a three-point shooter last season. That's been his biggest issue, is not able to hit consistent shots from the perimeter, and he's always been sagged off. Averaged 9 points a game last year, but he did have that good three-point percentage, primarily from the corner. Anytime it got to the elbow or the wings or above the break, it got a little bit ugly for Isaac Okoro. But I got to be honest, I would be shocked if he doesn't get signed soon, because if I was a losing team, I would take a flyer on him. Former top 5 pick, see if you could come in and bring something to the table. Dennis Smith Jr. comes in at number 2. This one might be a little biased. I'm a DSJ guy, always have been. I love Dennis Smith Jr.'s game, and he is one of the most athletic guards in the NBA. And if you're looking for someone to be your 8th to 10th guy in your rotation, provides you excellent minutes defensively at the point of attack, like, he is maybe the most underrated perimeter guard defender in the NBA. He doesn't get talked about enough. I love the energy, athleticism he brings to the table. Former top 10 pick. Yes, the offense is bad. Can't shoot. Still hasn't been able to develop a jumper for the NBA level. But just off pure defense and athleticism, I can't believe he's not signed. The clear-cut number 1 player still available in NBA free agency is Markelle Fultz. And yeah, make all the remarks you want about him being a bust as a former first overall pick. He absolutely is a bust. There's no defending that. But let's be real here. He was very effective for the Orlando Magic last season. He's still one of the more lengthy guards in the NBA. He's a good defender. He's kind of crafty in that mid-range area too. A lot of games where he's able to get into that mid-range, hit a little elbow J, get to the rack and finish due to his lengthy arms. Like, he looks not like someone who you would think would be a point guard. That is for sure. And I liked what he brought to the table for Orlando last season, man. 8 points a game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, shot 47% from the field. Still not going to give you any jumpers from beyond the arc, but Fultz has really rebranded his image, in my opinion, as someone that can affect winning basketball. And just like Tyus Jones, I don't know if the backup point guard market is kind of dry or something like that. I was stunned that Tyus Jones only got a vet min deal. I really like Tyus. I also really like Markelle Fultz. He's ultimately only going to get a vet min deal. We'll see who he does latch on with. But I do like Markelle Fultz a lot, and I feel like we can look back at 6 or 7 months in the middle of the regular season and be like, yeah, how was Fultz a signing in mid-August or early September? Could be this year's Kelly Oubre. Oubre didn't sign until September last year. Maybe Fultz does the same exact thing. You let me know, though. I want to hear from everyone down in the comment section. What team should sign Markelle Fultz? Drop a team. If you just want to say your team, that's fine. Whoever it is, at this point, getting him for a vet min contract, which would likely be the outcome, it's going to be a steal regardless. Make sure you are following me over on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. At Nic_Rohloff is my handle. I'm talking NBA basketball every single day. And I like to create a conversation with all the NBA fans. If you follow me and DM me, I will answer. I'm not afraid to do that. I give you NBA content in between our videos here on Chat Sports. So give me a follow at Nic_Rohloff.